Ding, 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 ding. I'd now like to call today's edition of Kiwanis Connects officially to order. Welcome, everybody, to another Friday edition. I'm Aaron Phillips, the voice coming to you from Virginia Beach, Virginia, home of, Virginia Beach. Anyway, also, as you see on the screen, listen, Vegas has a packed house. I feel left out. My old homestead is filled with people. Doc Val spearheading the crew back there. Good morning, Doc Val.
Aloha. You know, it is awesome to be back in Las Vegas and having this time with local friends and family. And so I later on, you'll get to see a couple people and know that Andy actually really exists, even though we talk about him in the background. And so you can see everybody in the green room area. So so glad they're here. But I'm so excited about the guy in the bottom corner.
I know he's a Batman guy like me. That's all I care about. This Kiwanis stuff. But you got Batman here in the room. Go ahead, introduce him. Who do we got?
There we go. Hi. So we have Paul Palazzolo, and I know that a lot of people were going, "No way, he's not going to show up." And it's like,
yeah, wow. Of course I'll show up.
And in person, of course you're going to show up.
Absolutely. Now, as I recall, Val, and don't we start these broadcasts with the bell ringing? So we didn't have one this morning. So does that mean I get the Nobel Prize?
Oh, starting early with the dad jokes.
Here's the good news. My jokes at the end of the show. My jokes at the end of the show will only raise the bar. That's the good thing now.
The bar has been set, Aaron.
The bar may have been set, but stepping over that bar will be no problem.
Andy's rolling on the floor here.
Yeah, happy birthday to the big guy, by the way.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that is how we roll. I'm so glad you're here. And one of the main reasons is because you have so much insight into everything that is all things Kiwanis International. And you are an all-around good guy that knows a lot about a lot. And on top of that, being a Batman fan. So we've got a lot to talk about today. So
you're very kind, Doc Val. Thank you very much.
So, Paul, you got started in your time in Kiwanis a long time ago, back in 1984, right? How'd you get what was your wow moment to become part of Kiwanis?
Well, hey, thanks for asking. My wow moment was I was a member of Key Club prior to joining Kiwanis. I was in Key Club in my high school in 1980 to 1984. I did my freshman year of high school in 2 terms, Carter and Reagan. We have a rim shot with a drum or anything. Anyway,
wow.
I loved my experience in Key Club. I learned a lot about service. I learned a lot about leadership, and I had such a marvelous experience that I wanted to continue. And the Kiwanis Club that sponsored my Key Club, I stayed at a community college, a junior college in Springfield, Illinois, where I'm from. So I stayed in the community, and there was a Kiwanis member that asked me to join the Kiwanis Club right after high school graduation. So I joined the Kiwanis Club of Springfield, downtown Illinois in 1984. Working on, in August, it'll be 41 years of membership, and I'm still a child.
So it sounded like, based on your time in Key Club, you and I were in Key Club at the same time.
Absolutely. If you're 80 to 84, that was my era. It was a great time to be a high school student, and in Key Club in particular.
So all 4 of us are pretty much the same age, because 80 to 84, I was in high school, but we didn't have a Key Club. We had Kiwanis in our town, but we didn't have a Key Club at my high school at that point.
That Kiwanis Club in the early 80s had not seen the light yet to start a Key Club. So I hope they have one now. But
they actually gave me a scholarship. So that scholarship is what put me over the edge to be able to afford to go to college.
Well, perfect. Perfect. Kiwanis does a lot of great things, as we know from this broadcast and from personal experience. We know that whether it's a scholarship program or sponsoring a Circle K club or Key Club or a Builders Club, Kiwanis does amazing things in the community, and I think we all know that. And I think the idea behind this broadcast is to help share that celebration, to share that pride, and encourage more folks to be a part of this great organization.
Well, the great thing is, Paul, as I know Doc Val has shared with you, our show is averaging about 80 to 85,000 views a week from all over the world. great resource for people to not only see what's going on with other clubs around the world, but for new members who want to learn about the bigger picture. That is probably the biggest thing we're most proud of.
Yeah, and it's very exciting. And thank you all for doing this. I know there are a lot of fans, and I know that there are a lot of people who appreciate the effort. And it's most encouraging to see that we're using what we know in our own fun, hobby, professional lives to apply it to Kiwanis as a volunteer effort.
Speaking of which, let me give out the studio phone line. So if you want to call in, talk to Paul, talk to any of our guests, Val, whatever, it's 702-992-3207. It's been so long that John's been in studio. I really don't even know if the phone works anymore, to be honest with you. He may have to feed the gerbils underneath a little bit to get them going, but give it a try. 702-992-3207. Call in, say hello, and we'd love to hear from you.
Like I'm on the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon.
Hey, lady. Hey, lady. By the way, shout out to everybody. Thank you for watching on Facebook and on YouTube. You know the channels. You know who you are. Also, too, Doc Val, I'd be remiss if we didn't put this out there. And if I don't do it now, I will forget by the time I get off the air. Happy Memorial Day to anybody and everybody celebrating, past, present, future. We thank you for the ability to do what we do today because of you. Happy Memorial Day. Whatever you decide to do, please be safe so that we see you back here next Friday checking in on another episode. How to get that in, because I'd forget.
Indeed.
Oh, absolutely. Because, freedom isn't free. Someone has paid the price for us to be able to do what we do. And when I look at the news and everything that's been going on, I realize how blessed we are. And I use that word very generally and liberally, that we have people that fought for us and continue to fight for us. So happy Memorial Day, everybody.
John Crawford puts in a two-part question that is almost as long as the Emancipation Proclamation here. What is KI doing to increase our visibility in mainstream media? You mean Kiwanis Connects is not enough, John? Can Kiwanis run some television commercials, which we can do also, and produce and get them out there for you, or get some celebrity endorsements? I'm a Hall of Famer, for crying out loud. I'm answering every question you're throwing out there, John. And to bring in the younger audience. So, yeah, I guess not. Paul, what do you say to that?
Well, let me answer John's point and question by saying, yes, it's sometimes wise to be able to do an organized media campaign from an international or a national level. It costs a lot of money to do that, but it's sometimes, rather than that kind of an effort, what we're trying to do right now, John, and to club leaders around the world who are watching this, is to help local clubs know what to do to generate that community awareness and that publicity. Because that's where it's going to count, is when a local club can proclaim its presence and celebrate its accomplishments in service and sponsorship of service leadership programs by knowing what to do to proclaim its presence, whether it's a media appreciation day that the club can do, whether it's making sure that your Facebook presence is solid, that your website presence is solid, have a shiny Kiwanis road sign at the entryway to the community in which that club exists. A lot of the real action, John, happens at the local level. And so that's what we're trying to do here as from the volunteer leadership on the Kiwanis International Board and district governors to the staff here in Indianapolis. We're working hard to help clubs know how to proclaim their presence stronger and more effectively on a consistent basis. So I think that's the answer, rather than an expensive campaign that costs a lot of money that many people might not see. Locally, if it's effective on a consistent basis, people will see it and resonate more with a lot more recipients of that message. So I hope that makes sense as you're seeing how we can effectively spend your dues dollars.
And we've actually on this show through Aaron developed a process where clubs can actually develop a commercial on that. And I don't want to step on Aaron's parade. So Aaron, why don't you share a little bit, and maybe during our first break, we'll show you a couple examples of what we've been able to do for clubs.
Yeah, I'm sure my buddy John back there already has a few of our commercials queued up. So what we did was, Paul, we came up with a concept exactly along the lines of what you're talking about, clubs don't necessarily have the tools to be able to promote. And oh my goodness, that last name that just popped up just threw me for a loop. Who is that person watching from Virginia? Holy cow. Wait, I need to clean my eyeballs. Anyway, so what we did was we came up with a concept that really was a win-win-win situation. Number one, creating a 30, 60, or 90-second commercial platform for clubs, whether it's promoting for recruiting or events or whatever. So that's number one. Number two, making it cost-effective for them. Number three, the donation that is spent to create that commercial through Kiwanis Connects, a portion of those proceeds become a fundraiser for the Roseville Club.
Love it.
Okay. And so now what we've done in the community is we've created these opportunities where the clubs literally own the commercial. We do run them and share them here on the show, but the clubs own these tools so they can send them out to the local networks to promote and recruit for their clubs or their activities or put on social media. And so we're very proud of that fact. To be honest, I wish more clubs around the world took advantage of this, not for all the reasons we've talked about, but the clubs that have been using it, including Kiwanis Family House there in California, not a club, but an organization, has also done a commercial. I have to say, and anybody who has those commercials, and as a matter of fact, Kiwanis Club of Erie with Kathy Zemansky is the next one that's in production. I've not really heard a whole lot of negative from these clubs not being happy with the commercial that they've gotten or the tools and responses that they've gotten. So Kiwanis Connects is very proud of being able to support that. So, and quite frankly, the funds not only go to the Roseville Club, but the balance of those funds keep their show on the air. Somebody's got to keep John happy.
I love it. I love it.
So,
let me also add to John's point when he said, do we have any celebrity endorsements? That's also something that we're actively working on, particularly from those folks who have a familiarity that know Kiwanis. How about that? That know Kiwanis because of their club. Craig Melvin is our current main superstar right now. One of the anchors of NBC's Today Show is a former Key Club International president from the mid 1990s. So he's well aware of Kiwanis and Key Club and how it shaped his desire to get into broadcast journalism. So, we're always communicating with Craig, and we're always working with others that have gone through the program of Key Club and Circle K to hopefully we can keep them in the fold. So hope that helps answer. Oh, and I love the Rose Parade float. I am a huge fan of the Rose Parade float. It has a meaningful purpose, not only for engaging all of those volunteers that help put that floats and other floats together from the Kiwanis family on the holiday time of Christmas and New Year's. So good stuff on the Rose Parade float, and it does a great job for visibility when that float drives down. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the street in Pasadena.
Colorado Boulevard.
Colorado Boulevard. I knew it was a state. It was slipping my mind. I almost said California Boulevard, but love the float.
You had the C. You got the C in there. That would have been fine.
Yeah.
Jim Janizik, thank you for your comments. Jim, I'm just curious. I'd love to know where you're from, what club you're from, where about geographically. Other people may know who you are, but I'm not familiar with your name. But
you and I are club mates in the Centennial Club.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. All right, thank you.
Club started by President Button. So
there you go. All right. So that's one side of what's going on. So the grassroots part of that, though, the commercials that Kiwanis Connects offers in support really is part of that. Is really part of the grassroots because you tell the commercial to your community, to your message, to your event, whatever is that you want to do as far as the grassroots campaign is concerned. All right, with that, we are at quarter after.
Real quick, Jim, I was around when that campaign was started. It was called One Can Make a Difference campaign. And so I remember when that rolled out in the mid-aughts to early aughts, 2003, 4, 5. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to. That's why my mindset is on the fact that we have to help clubs know the right way to make a positive impact locally and proclaim their presence. So thanks for that opportunity to mention that.
Absolutely. All right. With that, everybody, we're going to step aside for a first break of today's show so we can all catch our breath because this first segment, we've covered a lot already because that's what happens when you have Executive Director Paul Palazzolo and Batman fan on the show. Call us 702-992-3207. Kiwanis Connects with Doc Val, Paul, John. Who else is over there? Maritza and Margot and Andy, the birthday boy, and you. We'll be right back. Whitney Houston said it best in one of her award-winning songs, "The children are our future." But how can we ensure that this will happen? One way to ensure our future is to volunteer. Most people would love to volunteer, but they don't know where to go to get involved. Fortunately, there is an answer. The answer is Kiwanis International. Kiwanis International was founded in 1915 in Detroit, Michigan. The name Kiwanis comes from the Algonquin Native American language and translates to rebuild. In 1919, Kiwanis changed its focus from business networking to service to children. There are currently 7,200 clubs in 85 nations. However, if you reside or work in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, or Suffolk, you have 11 Kiwanis clubs available for you to become a member and become an active volunteer in your community. This will ensure that children will be our future. For more information, contact Kimberly Temple at 757-793-6761 or by email at towncenterkiwanis@yahoo.com.
Good morning, my name is Alejandro Hogan, and this year I'm the president of the Kiwanis Club for Literacy in Salinas. We're a small club, but what we do is we believe in literacy, and what better way to promote literacy than to come to different schools.
We go to schools where there are 4 first grade classrooms. That way we are able to distribute us as members to go in each classroom and give that 30 minutes of enthusiasm for the students to read and become engaged on that book.
Our goal is that they get a book once a month and they take it home. It doesn't stay at school, so that by the end of the year, they have their own home library.
We need more people to believe in what we do, and we want you to join the Kiwanis Literacy Club of Salinas.
Welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. We are live from Las Vegas and Virginia Beach. And as they say in the world of pro wrestling, from parts unknown, wherever you've got an internet connection, we'll be happy to have you as part of our audience. Thank you for joining us, Doc Val. I'm Aaron Phillips, the voice. And of course, joining us is Executive Director of KI and former past international president, I'll have you know. We only roll out the red carpet for certain people. Paul wasn't one of them because he was not the current international president. No, I'm only kidding. Paul joins us today. All things Kiwanis. I know I get a little silly and goofy.
Hey, that's all right. I love it. I
All
absolutely.
things Kiwanis today.
Yes, you're absolutely right. My wife, Sue Ann, and I, we had a chance to serve our great organization as international president in 2009-10. It was a great experience. We did travel a lot on behalf of the organization. We traveled so much, we went to almost as many places as our luggage.
What was your favorite place you visited as international president?
As international president, I'd have to say, I mean, every place was amazing. We saw a lot of great Kiwanis projects, but by virtue of my ancestral roots being in Italy, we loved visiting Rome. And the Kiwanians in Rome were very kind, and they do a lot of great things. And the Kiwanis clubs in the Italy San Marino district are doing great things. And so my wife and I and my children, Maria and Anthony, had an opportunity to travel with us as much as they could with their school schedule allowing. And so, yeah, we fell in love with visiting Rome. But there are so many other great places that Kiwanis does fantastic things. Every place was a good place that could almost be considered a favorite too.
Right on.
I love the fact that you included your family in the travel.
Absolutely. My children had experiences by virtue of their family involvement with Kiwanis, and so many members of Kiwanis treated them so well and so positively. I'll never forget in the Capital District, Aaron, Maria turned at an event that we were at on her 13th birthday. And so when she became a teenager while she was at a Kiwanis event in the Capital District, and they had a birthday cake and sang to her and celebrated her her birthday, and it was heartwarming from a parental perspective.
Absolutely.
Event. Maria and Anthony learned so much, had so many experiences. One quick fun way that we helped them learn was when we were in an airport and needed to get to the next gate. I would always say to Maria or Anthony, okay, you tell us how to get to the gate where we need to go. And so we would, release the control of where we were headed to either Maria or Anthony so that they could navigate the family way to where the gate was. And I think that helps them immensely to either learn how to figure out what directions were and how to get to a place. It doesn't matter if it's in an airport or on an interstate. You got to have that kind of navigatable skill. So that's just one of the fun memories we had. We would just relinquish control of how we were going, where we were going, to Maria or Anthony, and they had to figure out the next gate for us. So just kind of fun memories, learning memories, and a lot of good stuff.
And the nice part is you're here to tell about it. They didn't lose you too bad. Yeah, Don.
Good stuff.
Good
Yep.
stuff.
And my other favorite line to use is when we were traveling one time, I went to the guy behind the counter at the airport. I said, I want this bag to go to Anaheim. I want this bag to go to Cincinnati. I want this bag to go to Orlando. He says, I'm sorry, sir, we can't do that. I said, well, why not? You did it the last time.
Yeah, you've got it down with a lot of travel. When I went to Chiba, Japan. Andy couldn't go with me. And so I invited a girlfriend who wasn't a Kiwanian yet. And yet is the key term. And she brought her grandson. And so we went 5 days early, and his assignment at 10 years old was to figure out one historical thing that we were going to do, one fun thing that we were going to do, and one spiritual, holistic thing that we needed to do. And that was his whole at-home schooling project. And he took us to some fantastic things. And she decided after that, after going to the convention and stuff, she actually joined our club. But it was a great way to incorporate multiple generations into this whole Kiwanis family stuff.
Absolutely. It does marvels. I'll tell you that, Al. Fantastic.
My kids, when my year coming out there in San Leva with Marco and Mark McDonald, my kids were under 10 years old, and they grew up in the K family as part of the Kiwanis clubs out there. And I wanted the division out there. They just adopted our daughters like nobody's business. And they learned a lot about when it came to the holiday baskets or whatever. They said, Mom, Dad, here's $5 when we go shopping for the toys. We want to use some. So the lessons that Kiwanis teaches kids of all ages, including our ages as kids, it's totally invaluable, and you just can't put a price on it. And I agree. Like yourself, Paul, I mean, and Val, and really everybody that I know has been around the K family a long time. We've learned an awful lot over all these decades of being involved in the Kiwanis family. And I would dare say it's part of our fabric to who we are and what we've passed down to our kids and kids and kids. So,
anyway. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Val.
So, one of the reasons that you're here today is I really wanted to talk about the international convention that's coming up. And I saw that there's a couple of fun things that are happening. And so it's just like, oh, absolutely. And so he's got the convention card. So one of the things is that we've extended the registration. So
yes, we have. And for folks that are watching or haven't heard, first of all, the Kiwanis International Convention is the place to enjoy the spirit of the organization and to take back ideas that you can pick up at an international convention presented by other clubs, presented by team members here at 36 to help your club be the best that it can be. And that's the whole reason for the existence of this structure, Val, for helping clubs be their best and helping clubs know how they can do things that will make the best impact and have the most fun for the members. So the International Convention is a place where this catalog shows, and the website will show all of the forum and workshop opportunities that are available. So you can learn so many things about what a club can do to increase its impact. The Kiwanis International Convention also affords an opportunity to have a good time, to visit a fabulous host city like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, when with the convention dates being June 25th through the 28th, there's still a chance to register. We've extended the deadline, and we have a brand new keynote speaker. Our previous keynote speaker is not able to be with us at the event, but we have replaced that particular individual with a keynote speaker, and a lot of people recognize this name, Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen will be the keynote speaker at the Kiwanis International Convention, and if you're like me and enjoy popular culture, you know that he was on the West Wing as the president for 6 to 7 seasons. I kind of enjoyed Martin Sheen when he was playing John F. Kennedy in the miniseries about the president's life in the early 1980s.
Yes.
I thought that was fabulous work. Of course, Apocalypse Now, if you're interested in being in the same room as Martin Sheen, he's got a unique history of film in that he was in one of the last movies that Marlon Brando was in and worked with Brando for probably one of the last times. I liked him in Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can, where he played the potential father-in-law for DiCaprio's character, and did a great job when that character was in New Orleans and met potential wife, fiance, and Sheen did a great job as that young lady's father. Anyway, love Sheen. I think he's going to be a great keynote speaker, and he's Charlie Sheen's dad. So,
I was just and Emilio Estevez. Don't forget about Emilio.
Don't forget Emilio. Two young actors. I don't know how much young they are anymore. How younger they are anymore.
Not anymore.
But yeah, so he's got that going for him. I don't know about the parental skills, but he's a great actor. Anyway,
he should come out when he's introduced, dressed like the character of the other person that was supposed to be there. I think there would be a lot of funniness in it. Okay?
You know what? We will mention that.
Please do. I think that would be funny, and then but I think that would be hysterical.
But seriously though, please, any Kiwanis member that's watching, please consider, if you haven't already, please consider registering for the Kiwanis International Convention. It's going to be an amazing event. And I love Nancy's question. Do some clubs budget to send an incoming president or others? I feel like it should be done. Nancy, absolutely. And in fact, a lot of clubs have gotten out of that amazing habit of investment. And it is an investment. And you are able to use service club funds, service account funds, for that investment of sending an incoming officer to the Kiwanis International Convention, because it's not a party. I mean, yes, there will be fun times to visit with friends and new friends and familiar friends while you're there, but you will get so much value from going to the Kiwanis International Convention and bringing ideas back. So Nancy, you're absolutely right. Clubs should budget and invest in sending their incoming officer. And it doesn't have to be for the whole trip. A club perhaps could pay for the registration fee and either the flight or a couple of nights for the room. But it's a valuable investment for getting ideas and bringing them back to the club, and having that individual who goes to the convention reporting back to the whole club about what they experienced and bring back some hints. So yes, a club should get back into the swing of investing in a member to attend. And it's always good. Sure. If you're a past Kiwanis governor, like Val or myself or Margot or so many other Kiwanians, sure, you go and you have a good time. But those who are really going to be interested in wanting to bring things back are those incoming officers. So you'll want to invest in those incoming officers of your club and encourage them to go to make time in their schedule. Next year, the Kiwanis International Convention is going to be in Manila, the Philippines. And that is going to be an amazing international experience for those Kiwanis Club members in North America to go to the Philippines and enjoy that host courtesy that those folks over in the Philippines will extend to all of us. They are excited about hosting the Kiwanis International Convention. And if you've had a chance to interchange or enact or visit with Kiwanis members from the Philippines, they are all in on service. They are all in on fun. They are all in on making a difference. And you will just come to adore the country and the members of the Kiwanis clubs that are in that country. So I encourage people to plan to go to Pittsburgh and send folks to the Kiwanis International Convention in the Philippines next year in Manila. It'll be a great event.
I want to thank Kiwanis International for this year's international convention coming to the East Coast, because a year ago at this time, I was sitting where Val is, living in Las Vegas. So the fact you guys are coming to the East Coast is making it easier for me to see everybody when everybody comes out to Pittsburgh in a month, folks. You're talking about extending deadline. Well, guess what? Today's the 23rd of May, which means we just about have 2 extra days above a month to get ready for convention. So if you're going to jump on it, better do it soon. So I want to thank KI for moving the convention to the East Coast for me. So all I have to do is just hop in my car and drive up for about 8 hours and see everything.
Happy to do it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We like to have various locations throughout at least the United States and the world. And after Manila, it'll be in Dallas, then Las Vegas, and then the Kiwanis International Board will decide on a location for the following year after Las Vegas. So we like to have it in a variety of places. I'm personally looking forward to, as well as the Philippines and Dallas. I think Las Vegas is going to be a great location for the convention, as well as it has been in the past. When I had a chance to serve as international president, our convention was in Las Vegas, and it was a great experience and a great convention. We had about 8,000 people there at that convention. We had General Colin Powell as our keynote speaker. Jay Leno was our keynote entertainment, and so it was a great event. And Taya Leone helped us announce our involvement in the new worldwide service project of eliminating our maternal and neonatal tetanus. I almost went back too far and said deficiency disorders. Maternal and neonatal tetanus. And Taya Leone gave me a kiss on my cheek right here.
Oh. Have you washed it?
I haven't washed it since.
It's my very first international convention with my wife when we lived in Jersey. We're part of the Jersey district, was out in Vegas. And that's what sold us on Vegas at the time we were there, that we eventually moved there. So yeah, it's great that it's going back there. And I know the Calneva district has their convention coming up there in August, that if things work out, I may be stopping by to say hello to some old cronies back there during DCon out there if things work out. So conventions are so cool. Conventions are so fun. You're just, whether it's district or international, they're just, when you have that ability to meet people from around the world that you are alike.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I do.
That's how I committed. That's how I committed to Kiwanis overall. Was going actually to my first international convention and being a newbie to Kiwanis, because I had only been in a year, and actually having that experience. So Paul, when you talked about Manila, like I keep thinking about that.
That's on the other side of the world, Val.
Is that a movie?
I know. Go into
Oh, that's Mulan. I'm sorry. Mulan. You say tomato.
We got all kinds of things going on.
Lots of things going on.
Dizzy.
Yeah. But it's so important that we mention it now, because most of our clubs are in budgeting cycle for the 25-26 year. And so going to an international location is a little bit financially challenging sometimes. And sometimes it's just psychological that's financially challenging.
Absolutely.
Because going from the Midwest and the West Coast to the Philippines is relatively inexpensive. And if you get the flights just right, starting in January of next year, you're really looking at a flight that costs less to go from LA to New York to go to the Philippines. And
absolutely. It can be done.
It can be done. And it should be done, because at every one of our international conventions that are in domestic U.S., we have a large contingent of the Philippines here.
Absolutely.
We have a huge contingent of ASPAC. So it's only respectful that we show up and support our international conventions.
I think it's the perfect reason, and you get so much. You get so much back.
And what's really cool is we get a lot of our audience actually also watch from the Philippines for this show. Yeah. So if you are watching, our great fans down there in the Philippines, just jump in there and say hello. And I want to ask everybody again, if you haven't as of yet, please put in the chat room where you're watching from today, so Paul knows that we're not just speaking like silly people out in the chat room. He knows we got real people watching. from all over the world. That's why it's called international, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. I'm
Right?
trusting. I know that you are. I know that you are.
I know Canada checked in. All right, let's step aside for our second break, which will more than likely be our last one because we have so much left to do. I know what's on the slate. We have mental health moment if we're going to still do it. We got wow moment if we're going to still do it. Of course, no one's getting out of here without bad dad jokes because it's Andy's birthday. Paul, did you come equipped with one today as we ask our guests to do?
He already said it.
I know, I'm giving him a chance to do better. Plus, I believe one of our studio guests over there maybe has to step up and say hello. Look, we got a lot to do before we leave, so don't go anywhere because we got 30 minutes left. I don't think we're going to take a break after this because we'll be right back.
Kiwanis International is a global community of clubs, members, and partners dedicated to improving the lives of children one community at a time. Today, we stand with more than 550,000 members, from K-Kids to Key Club to Kiwanis, for all ages in over 80 countries around the world. Each community has different needs, and Kiwanis empowers members to pursue creative ways to serve the needs of children, such as fighting hunger, improving literacy, and offering guidance. Kiwanis clubs host nearly 150,000 service projects each year.
For more information, contact Herman Platsky at KiwanisClub of 29Palms.com.
At Kiwanis Family House, we build communities and give hope. But when someone is sick, families can be tested in ways they never imagined. Parents have to travel far from home to get their child the complex medical care needed. They may have to miss work and worry about paying the bills, and all the while, trying to keep their family together. That's where Kiwanis Family House comes in. Kiwanis Family House provides a home away from home for families with sick family members receiving treatment at nearby hospitals. Families stay at Kiwanis Family House for as long as they need. This allows them to be close to their sick family member and each other during a stressful time. Every day, Kiwanis Family House witnesses how families are a powerful source of support and healing during difficult times due to illness or trauma. Every day, Kiwanis Family House celebrates the importance of family and the power of love and support.
All right, welcome back. Oh my goodness, we come back from break. It's like a Chinese fire drill in Las Vegas. One of my lieutenant governor teammates when I was lieutenant governor in Cal, Mark McDonald, and past governor of Cal Neva, Margot Dutton joined us. Hey, Margot, how you doing?
How are you?
We're doing well. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Good, Val?
It was so much fun. I walked into the studio and saw Margot and Marissa. It was just like, wow, it's almost like old home week. And that's one of the things that I love about Kiwanis. I was chatting with Susan Wells out in SoCal. And
I love me Susan Wells.
She says, if it wasn't for Kiwanis, I'm not sure how many friends I would have on Facebook. And I realized if it wasn't for Kiwanis, I'm not sure how many friends I would actually have. I'm not even just Facebook, but that connection from the very beginning. When Sylvester Neal came out and invited me to join Kiwanis as the international president, I was like, oh, it opened doors to meeting all kinds of people, including Margot, who has been a part of my path since almost the first year. So. Yep. I wanted to thank her. And so being able to have her on and thank her, it was like cool. So did you join a local club?
I'm interviewing clubs.
Oh, she's interviewing clubs.
That's what I told them. Their job was to impress me, right? No, actually, I've narrowed it down to 2, so we'll leave it at that. For those of you who may not know, I actually moved to Las Vegas 2 months ago to be closer to my grandchildren. So I thank John for inviting me to the show because I watch it almost every single week, and it's an honor and a privilege to be.
What do you do on the weeks you're not watching it then?
Babysitting.
What part of town did you move to, Margot?
Up by Centennial.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So right up there by the studio. I'm coming out in August, so hopefully we'll connect.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Val, if I could put in
Put me on the convention committee. So, you got to be careful about these things.
Val, if I could put in a quick plug, Margot is currently one of the trustees of the Kiwanis Children's Fund, the Kiwanis International Foundation, and she helps this organization of the Children's Fund for Kiwanis raise funds for making a positive impact around the world, and where those funds are distributed to grants. And at this point, we're in the middle of the Possibility Project, which is a way that individuals in Kiwanis and outside of Kiwanis can make and gift dollars to the Kiwanis Children's Fund that will go to Kiwanis clubs who apply that need some extra funds to increase the impact of their grant, or the grant that will increase the impact of their project. And Margot's doing a great job on the foundation. She's making sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and plus signs and minus signs are properly in place, keeping us financially responsible. And she's doing a great job, and we're glad that she's on that board. So folks that are interested in making a gift to the Children's Fund should look on our website, kiwanis.org, and consider all of the impacts and possibilities that are part of that project, and make a gift to the Kiwanis Children's Fund to extend your impact beyond your local club. How's that?
And I would add to that, if you have any questions about that program, please contact me or Val, because Val is our district chair. Would be happy to answer any questions, because the impact we're making throughout the world, it matters. We're helping kids be the best they possibly can. And
Yep, absolutely.
And
One of the things.
Phenomenal coach. So just sharing before Aaron, you go into that. So.
No, I was just going to say, when you're producing a show and I've got messages flying in already with bad dad jokes. We're not even for the show. Chadwick, Douglas, God, I love Douglas. Me, like you have no idea. He sent me one in private chat for Andy, and I told him, "What's the matter? You have no courage to put it in the chat for John to put it up for Andy to see it?" And then Daryl, God bless him, from Georgia, puts one in there. When does it rain money? When there's a change in the weather. Love it. Douglas's comment was, and I'm paraphrasing, that there are so many candles on your cake that the cost of all the candles costs more than the cake. So I don't know.
Rodney Dangerfield said that I had so many candles on my cake, the heat drove me back.
Oh my!
Oh, I love it.
There you go. There's Douglas, and also Robert Larson's in the chat room. Happy birthday to him as well.
Happy birthday, Bob!
So we got to go. All right, Val. I'm going to turn it back to you to see if we're going to go to mental health moment or not, and wow moments, and how we're going to play all that out with everybody here.
Oh, absolutely. And I have this little flyer, so they don't have a commercial yet with us, but when the Mama's Wranglers was on the show, they ended up getting a small grant from our district, and part of that was because we wanted to make sure that we support organizations in the areas that are supporting kids. And so I think that they're actually joined the Green Valley Kiwanis Club out of being a part of our show. So
way to go, Tony.
Beneficial.
And they've done 4 in-school concerts because of that.
And so John said they've done 4 in-school concerts because of that grant that they were given.
To bring music to children, just like the Literacy Club does.
Nice. Yeah. So they're bringing music to schools, just like the Literacy Club brings books. And so there are multiple levels of languages of love, and music is one of those languages of love. And so we just got to do a plug in for Mama's Wranglers and say thank you. And thank you, Margot, because part of that was they got a matching 500 micro grant. So we're helping all over the world. And that's why we're here. We want to support our members. We want to make sure that all those opportunities are out there, and know that Kiwanis International and the Children's Fund and our districts are all trying to make sure that we give the best experience. And there's so much value in being a member of Kiwanis. And so thank you.
I've been in Kiwanis almost as long as Paul. I've been in 39 years.
You can get there, Margot. You can do it.
I will. Trust me.
I didn't know you could join that young.
Oh, so cute.
With all this gray hair, what do you mean? And it really is because of the work we do for children. And I don't normally share my story, but this seems like a good time. My youngest daughter had spinal meningitis when she was 4 weeks old, and she was diagnosed on Mother's Day. And she was in a hospital supported by Kiwanis. And I knew I wanted to join because of what we do for not only the kids, but for parents who know that there's someone willing to walk beside them. And that's what we do. And to me, that's really, really important. And if we can do that around the world, where we give parents that security of knowing that somebody's got their back when maybe they don't feel anybody else does. And so giving money to the International Children's Fund is incredibly important to me. And Paul knows I put my money where my mouth is, so I'll just leave it at that.
Really?
And the same can be true for the district. I have been president of the district foundation. What we do for kids, whether it's the Calneva Foundation or the International Children's Fund, you make a difference. You make a difference in ways you don't even know. I'm here because 39 years ago, somebody cared about my daughter.
Right on. You never know what the aha moment is. It's different for everybody, but the bottom line is when it strikes you, go
It
for it.
strikes.
Absolutely.
Right. All right.
And so I
That
think right
was-
now is a perfect time to go into our mental health moment, because that is just a major transition. And also Margot's personal project when she was governor was to focus in on children's mental health. So what better timing than to do it in honor of Margot?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Melissa Atwell, founder and CEO of the Mental Health Moment. And I want to talk to you today about that little voice in your head. We all have it. I know you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes that voice can be very negative. And sometimes, just as human beings, we listen to that voice. We sit and we fester in the negativity. We worry, we overthink, and we start telling ourselves stories in our head that maybe necessarily aren't true facts or have evidence. So what I want the awareness to be for you is to remember that when you do go down that path in your head, a negative path, know that you have a choice to shift your mindset and to steer into a different direction so that moving forward, when this does happen again, you'll be aware and you'll know how to take action. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
Thank you, Melissa Atwell, the mentalhealthmoment.org. Great organization. All around great messages. All right, we're going to shift to WOW. Yes, Doc Val? All right, it is now time for some Kiwanis WOW around the world. Take it away, John.
Lord have mercy. Alive in the building. I dance on my dance here. You ready? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Hit me one time. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Yeah. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Where them fans at? Get up by your seat. Let your body move. Cowboys and cowgirls, they feeling that groove. Sipping on moonshine, fire barrel rolling. I'ma get behind that thing, girl.
This just had me dancing, and
And she's a good dancer.
I am telling you, I had my moves in the background, Paul. You needed to see them, or maybe not. That would be something to be on your memory. But the reason why this is such a wow moment for me is that this is the 27th year of the Antioch doing a major festival, and they realized that they were coming short, and they actually partnered with Kiwanis to make sure that they could bring back the festival again. And by partnering with Kiwanis, they were able to get some new volunteers. So it's going to be probably one of the biggest festivals that they've had. And it's going to be on June 7th. And I know that every community out there, they're trying to think about, are we going to be able to manage this with the economy being the way it is? Now is the time for Kiwanis to partner with their cities, their towns, their counties to be able to pull off something that they used to do on their own and make it even bigger, because Kiwanis is all about the community. It's not just kids, but it's about bolstering communities. So, and I know you guys just had your Shrimp Fest. So
yeah. Last Thursday, the Shrimp Fest was a blast. It was packed. 2.5 to 3 hours of shrimp that could be seen for as long as you can. Everybody enjoyed it. There was music, there was vendors. And then right on the heels of that, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was the 41st annual Chesapeake Jubilee, which was a 3-day carnival festivity that Kiwanis, though in name, was not part of per se. The Shrimp Fest, yes, but it led right into the other. It was terrific. It's almost like the unofficial kickoff to the summer season out here. And we want to thank everybody, all the sponsors, all the donors, and everybody that was involved in making that event happen. Chesapeake City Park is a great place to do events like that. And so we thank you for that as well. A couple of other events I'll share. June 4th, the Town Center Kiwanis Club out here, which is the home club of our Lieutenant Governor Kimberly Temple, is their annual golf tournament. Yours truly will be hosting the awards ceremony starting at around 4 o'clock. Will be at Cypress Point Golf Course. The Virginia Beach Kiwanis Club has a golf event coming up September 5th. I will be out there swinging my clubs. So anybody in and around me, you better get your insurance paid up, because it's going to be like dodging bullets. I can tell you that much. So some great events here in the Capital District as well. And a lot of things are happening. I just want to remind everybody, going into the summer, I believe Vegas, Val, yesterday, if I saw in the news, you guys already hit 100 degrees already out there in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. So everybody, as you enter the summer season, please, please, please be careful no matter what you do, whether it's golfing for a cause or you're just chilling on a boat somewhere and enjoying life. Please be careful. Drink those fluids. Stay healthy as you go. And so I digress for a second, but all of these events are happening. Keep an eye on the Kiwanis Connects Facebook page, because I'm proud to say there's been a lot more activity, Doc Val, with people posting their events, or at least notifying us of events that you and I are reposting and resharing. So check out that page for ideas and resources as well. Schools now are starting to wrap up, which means key clubs are going to be getting to their year-end events and barbecues, which also means kids will be out and about playing more outside, hopefully, when their Fortnite stuff expires. But keep in mind, though, that there'll be more kids on bikes, things like that. So it's a time of year where there's change happening all across. And again, the door's open that if anybody wants to come out and visit, I got a pool, I got the Atlantic Ocean one way, and I got the Chesapeake Bay the other way. So come on out and get wet. Just let me know you're coming.
Okay. So, Paul, what's your favorite signature service project? Because we both are talking about ours, and we just waxed poetic, and we forgot to ask you about yours.
Hey, I sure appreciate that. First of all, of course, would be Key Club. And our club has sponsored several Key Clubs over the years. And the one that I went to school at Griffin High School, now Sacred Heart Griffin High School. But then about 3 years ago, we had two young members, very, very young members, that saw an idea for a laundromat library out of Kiwanis Magazine in the days when Kiwanis Magazine posted those service projects that you could copy. And so the laundromat library turned out to be a huge boon for Springfield, Illinois, because we did it in one laundromat, took a little corner of the laundromat, put a ABC little throat rug and books that we paid for that young people could either leave or take home with them. And we would restock that laundromat library. It turned out to be a huge success. A lot of good marketing that resulted from that laundromat library, that we were able to do a second one, and the third laundromat wanted one. And so then we just continued to add these laundromat libraries to our range of service projects that we already did. So I'd have to say that when those little kids were, utilizing that laundromat library that we saw, it's a heartwarming thing. And so that's got to be right now our signature project that the Kiwanis Club of Springfield, downtown Illinois, takes on. And it's a great project, and it does a lot for the community too.
That's so awesome.
Right on.
Thanks.
If you ever run out of books, I know a Kiwanis Literacy Club in California that could probably help you.
Well, we had to. I tell you what, this is no BS. We had to start renting a storage unit for all of the books that we've got. So that was a nice thing that we needed to have, a nice problem that we needed to solve. That we were able to get all kinds of books gifted, brand new books gifted to us for use, and that we then were collecting throughout. So it was a great project. Good stuff.
All right, Paul, I'm going to give you. Are you a wrestling fan by chance? A pro wrestling fan at all?
I am not. The extent of, I mentioned earlier to you, the extent of my sports knowledge is I memorized Who's on First when I was in grade school.
By the way, one other thing I noted that you said earlier, you mentioned the address is 3636, which of course for everybody in Kiwanis knows what that is. My immediate thought was, and you'd probably appreciate this being a Batman fan because this is another show I'm going to reference right around the same genre. Is 3636 like 1313?
13 Mockingbird Lane.
There you go. That's it. One of the best shows also at that time.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I want you to hype up. If people are on the brink about going to convention in a month, pump them up and tell them why they should be there with 30 seconds. Go.
This is the best place to come back with ideas to help your club be an amazing, valuable experience for the member. You'll get ideas for service projects, fun things to do, marketing strategies, and how to be a responsible sponsor of our Kiwanis service leadership programs. Come to the Kiwanis International Convention, a great host city, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, June 25th through the 28th, and keynote speaker Martin Sheen. You will come away smiling with a head full of ideas to make a better impact with your Kiwanis Club in your community.
Right on. For Charlie Sheen, I simply say this. Hey. Anyway, Kathy Tutty, good to see you in the chat room, Kathy, for joining us. All right, before I get into bad dad jokes, since it is his birthday, Val, I have to insist on the camera on Andy. You can go over there with him to Studio 1B. He can join you, whatever you want. Let's get rock and rolling, John. Let's do it.
Let's go over here.
Let's do it. All right, there you go. Andy, there you go, buddy. Happy birthday, my friend. All right, here we go. Paul, before I start, did you want to upgrade your bad dad joke to anything from what you did earlier?
Well, you were mentioning golf earlier, Aaron. You know, I play golf military style. Right, left, right, left.
I'll have to remember that for my tournament in September. Okay, here we go. Number one. Hey, how does a penguin build its house? How does a penguin build its house, Andy? You got an idea, Andy?
No way.
It glues them together.
It glues them.
It glues them. Come on now. All right, next one. Hopefully. Where did it go? I lost the page. No, I didn't.
We need like Rip Taylor with
Here we go. What's that?
We need like Rip Taylor with confetti and.
Oh my God, Rip Taylor. Hey, what singer now never forgets their password? What singer never forgets their password? Kenny Loggins.
Oh, jeez.
I thought for sure that was going to be a better hit. All right. What's the difference? What's the difference between swine flu and bird flu? What's the difference between swine flu and bird flu? Just remember, folks, I'm simply reading them, okay? For one, you need treatment. The other, you need ointment.
You may be only reading them, but you are selecting them. There was a
That is true. I agree. I will be. Hey, listen.
There's a bartender cleaning his bar. There's a bartender cleaning his bar. He's walking up to, he sees a grasshopper sitting on his bar. He walks up to the grasshopper. He says, "Hey, do you know there's a drink named after you?" And the grasshopper looks up and it says, "Really, Irving?"
What?
Really, Irving?
Yeah, cricket sounds right now in the background. All right. What's every spider's dream job? What's every spider's dream job? Anybody?
Webmaster.
There you go. Web developer. The close enough. You get a cigar. There you go. All right. You read my book. Hey, why did the taxidermist open the window? Why did the taxidermist open the window? because it was getting stuffy inside. Okay.
I got one.
Why should you never met? Is Andy at least laughing at any of these? I can't see. All right, he is. All right, good. Why should you never marry a tennis player? Why should you never marry a tennis player? Because love means nothing to them. All right. Yep.
That was
Wow. I'm so glad I'm 2,500 miles away after that one. Holy cow, Linda, moaning and groaning over there.
Really, Irving?
Paul, I'm going to, Paul, will it be safe to assume I'm going to see you in Pittsburgh?
You are correct, sir.
Okay, you realize I'm going to call you Irving the entire weekend. You know that now, right? Yeah. Even Irving Wayne. I'm going to call you Irving Wayne.
See, the bartender didn't know the grasshopper's name was Irving.
Right, there you go. How much room does fungi need? How much room does fungi need to grow? How much room does fungi need to grow? As much room as possible. Okay. And I will end on this one, mercifully.
Thank God.
I know. What do noses say instead of goodbye? What do noses say instead of goodbye? Gotta run. Okay, that does it for this week's edition of Andy's birthday-themed bad dad jokes. Mercifully. Oh, I'm getting a sitting ovation from Andy. I love that. If you have to explain, yes, Douglas, you are correct. All right, let's wrap it up. Paul, thank you so much for joining us today, and great chatting with you. And I'm going to email you some pictures of my Batman collection at home, so you and I will continue to converse more about that in Pittsburgh. Doc, Val, take it away.
You know, I love my Fridays, especially when I get to hang out with you and people like Paul. Paul, thank you so much for being here. This is one of those weekends that I want to loop back to and say thank you to all of those who have served in the service and paid the highest price for us this Memorial Day weekend. So it's not just a holiday, and I want our kids to know it's not just a holiday. I want people to know that it stands for something. And when you see the flags flying, you know it stands for something. And so, Paul, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't think of a better way to have a Friday. And I look forward to seeing you in Pittsburgh.
As every Friday would happen. Paul, it was great to meet you online. I can't wait to meet you in a month in person. I think we're going to have a lot of laughs. And as Douglas says, we'll see you all in Pittsburgh, Irving. Okay, quick programming note tomorrow, Aaron's Hour from 11 a.m. to 12 Eastern Time. Tidewater Community College, Kelsey Warren, she's the Director of Student Recruitment and Activities, and there's a lot going on in all the campuses on Tidewater, so we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. As always, be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. We'll see you next time right here on Kiwanis Connects. This show, ding, 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 is adjourned. Thank you for watching.